Hello children, welcome for another session of our class 8, chapter 10, direct and inverse proportion. In our previous session, we already started the exercise 10.1. In that exercise 10.1, we already completed few problems in it. The continuation of that class will be continuing from the question number 6. 5 questions we already completed in our previous class. So, now question number 6. A vertical pole of 5.6 meters height casts a shadow 3.2 meters long. If you see a tree or a pole or any object which is kept in the sunlight, depending on the angle of incidence upon the object, the sun rays will fall upon the object, a shadow will be casted on the ground. We all know that. So the pole height is what is given? It is 5.6 meters. If the pole height is 5.6 meters, its shadow will be casted how much? 3.2 meters long. At the same time, we have to find the length of the shadow cast by another pole which is of 10.5 meters height. If the pole height is 5.6 meters, the length of the shadow is 3.2 meters long. This is the relation given in the first one. We need to find at the same time. See, in the morning time and afternoon time and evening time, the shadow of an object will be different in the length. Why? Because it depends upon the angle of the sun rays, how they fall on the object. Based on that, the length of the shadow will be cast on the ground. So, at the same time, we have to take. So, at the same time, if the length of the if the height of the pole is 10.5 meters, then what is the length of shadow? That is first thing we need to find. The second thing, if the height of the pole which casts a shadow of 5 meters long. First thing we need to find the length of the shadow whose height of the pole is 10.5 meters. Second one, already height of the pole we need to find the length of the shadow is given 5 meters. Okay. So in the first situation we have to find the height of the pole is given, length of the shadow we need to find. In second situation, length of the shadow is given 5 meters. What is the height of the pole we have to find? So there are two questions in the same one. First thing, relation between the height and the length of the shadow, that we have to find. So we know this situation, the pole is too much height, the length also long, the shadow of the length. If the pole is short, the shadow of that short pole will be little less length compared to the taller one. The tall and the short. The tallest will cast the long shadow, shortest will cast little length less. That means decrease in length of the shadow will be getting. So that means what is the relation between the height and the shadow length? Both are in direct proportion. If the pole is taller, the length of the shadow will be long. If the pole is short, the length of the shadow will be decreased. That means if you increase the height of the pole, the length of the shadow also increases. If you decrease the height of the pole, the length of the shadow also decreases. That means if one quantity is increasing, other quantity also increasing. What are the two quantities here? First quantity is the height of the pole, second quantity is the length of the shadow. If pole is taller, the length of the shadow will be long. If the pole is shorter, the length of the shadow will be short. So both are in direct proportion. That relation we have to understand. Is it in direct proportion or inverse proportion? That is main thing. So here the two quantities are what? One is height of the pole, other one is length of the shadow. Here what is given? Height of the pole. Let the height of pole as x unit and the length of the length of shadow in y units. So both are in direct proportion as we discussed right now. If the length of the shadow is more, height of the shadow is more, the height of the pole is more, the length of the shadow will be long. Height of the pole is more, length of the shadow is long. If the height of the pole is short, the length of the shadow also short. That means both are in direct proportion. Therefore, the height of the pole and length of its shadow are in direct proportion. Okay, direct proportion. So, what are the first information given? Length of the shadow and height of the pole. Height of the pole. So, in the first condition, height of pole, that we have to take it as x1, that is 5.6 meters. So, length of the shadow when the pole is of 5.6 meters, which shadow is y1, that is how much? 3.2 meters. This is given the question. Now, in this, what we need to find? The length of the shadow we need to find, which cast by another pole. What is that? 10.5 meters height. So, again, height of the pole, which is we know, height of pole, that is what? X2. What is the height of the pole? 10.5 meters. So 10.5 meters. We have to find the length of the shadow casted by 10.5 meters height pole. So length of the shadow of this pole. Length of shadow of this pole, that is y2. How much? So when x is directly proportional to y, I have told you the relation how to write. This is the question mark we need to find. So if x is directly proportional to y, what we need to write? The relation x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. So in this equation, we have to substitute our values. So x1 is 5.6. So 5.6 divided by y1. y1 is how much? 3.2. x2 is 10.5 by y2, that is what we are finding. So y2 we write as it is. Okay. After this, we go for the cross multiplication. So when you do the cross multiplication, when you cross multiply, here y2 we are going to find. So keep this in the left side. y2 into 5.6. So y2 into 5.6 is equal to 3.2 into 10.5. 3.2 into 10.5. So now y2 is equal to 3.2 into 10.5 divided by 5.6. So all are having the decimals. So first of all, let us remove the decimals. So y2 is equal to, so when you remove the decimal, it is 32 by 10. Here 10.5 will be 105 by 10. By here 5.6 will be 56 by 10. So first, let us go for this denominator. In this denominator, one more fraction is there. If you bring this fraction upside, it will become reciprocal. So y2 is equal to 32 by 10 into 105 by 10 into this total fraction I am changing into numerator place. So it will be reciprocal, 10 by 56. So now this 10 and this 10 will be cancelled. Remaining we have to simplify. Here 5 table I am cancelling. 5 2s are, this one 5 2s are 10, 5 1s are. Okay. Again here this and this also you can cancel. So with what table you can cancel it? 4 table, 8 table also. 7 8s are 56, 8 7s are 56. So 8 4s are 32. Right? Again 7 1s are 7 3s are 21. Remaining is what? 4 into 3. So 4 into 3. So y2 is equal to 4 into 3, that is 12. That means what? If the pole height is 10.5 meters, its shadow length will be how much? 12 meters. So therefore, the length of shadow of a pole of height 3.5 meters will be equal to 12 centimeters. If the length of the height of the pole is 10.5 meters, length of the shadow will be 12 centimeters at the same time. Now again we have to find the second question, one more also there. So hope you understood how to solve this. In this way again one more bit is there. We have to find the height of the pole this time. The first one, height of the pole is given 10.5 meters. We calculated the length of the shadow casted by each. That is what 12 centimeters. Now length of the shadow is given 5 meters. Then what will be the height of the pole we have to find? Okay, hope you understood this. So let us move on to the second question of the same question number 6, second bit. Okay, now it will be changing. So this second one I am writing it. Say x1 and y1 will be remaining same. That is the relation actually. Now x2 and y2 will be changing. So we have to find now what? x2, height of the pole we have to find. Find the height of pole which cast a shadow of length 5 meters long. The shadow of the length is given 5 meters. Height of the pole is what? That is what we have to find. Okay. So now same x1 y1, all the values we need to substitute. So x1 by y1 is same. So I will write here only 5.6 by 3.2 is equal to x2. We are finding that only x2. That is what the height of the pole we are finding. This is the second one. Find the height of pole, right? So by y2 is how much? 5 meters. So again same cross multiply. You will be multiplying now x2 into 3.2. Why? Because we have to find x2 value, the height of the pole, right? So you have to change these two. When you cross multiply, now x2 into 3.2. So x2 into 3.2 is equal to, here what is remaining? 5 into 5.6. This is 5.6. Okay, 5 into 5.6. We need to find x2 value. That is what? The height of the pole is equal to 5 into 5.6 divided by 3.2. In the similar manner, what we did in the previously, say 5 as these I am writing. This 5.6 I am changing it as 56 by 10. So I write x2 is equal to, so first 5 into this one, I am removing the decimal point so that 5.6 will become 56. One decimal point after one digit will be there, that is why you get 10. Again say this also 3.2, I am writing it as 32 by 10. Now x2 is equal to 5 into 56 by 10, I am writing as it is the numerator place. The denominator, whatever the fraction we have, I am taking it is upside, so it will become reciprocal of it, 10 by 32. So this 10 cancel, so remaining you can simplify again. Same 8 4s are 8 7s are. So again you cannot cancel. Why? Because here is the odd number 5, 7 also odd number, 4 is an even number. So remaining is what? 5 into 7, that is 35. 4 in the denominator. This is what actually height of the pole. So again you will divide it, you will get in the decimal. So 35 divided by 4. 4 8s are 32. 3 remains. Decimal point you take. 4 7s are 28. Remaining 2. Already decimal point is taken. So you can take 0. So 4 5s are 20. So 35 by 4 will be equal to what? x2 is equal to 35 divided by 4, that is equal to 8.75. So that means what? To cast a shadow of 5 meters long, the pole's height should be 8.75 meters. So to cast 8.5 meters long shadow, long shadow, the height of pole should be equal to how much? 8.75 meters. Hope you understood. Similarly, what we did in the previous session, same. What is the relation between them? Is it direct proportion or inverse proportion? You have to identify and let the variables assigned for the given values first. Then after what we are going to find x1, x2, y1, y2, assign the variables and the relation. What is the relation when x is directly proportional to y? x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. That relation you should write, and the values which are assigned for x1, y1 and x2, y2, substitute in them, cross multiply and do the simplification. You will be getting the result what you require actually. Hope you understood this question. Let us move on to the next question, that is 7th one. A load truck travels 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. If the speed remains same, how far it can travel in 5 hours? What is given? A load truck can travel 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. If the same speed is remained, how far it can travel in 5 hours? So we know speed, distance and time, there is a relation between them. When speed is constant, time and distance both are in direct proportion. If you are maintaining the same speed, if you want to travel more distance, you need more time. If you want to travel less distance, you need less time. If the speed remains same here, that means speed is constant. Okay. So here what is the relation between the time and distance? Both are in direct proportion. More distance, more time is required. Less distance, less time is required. So let us find how far it can travel in 5 hours. If it travels 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. Here you observe the time, units of time. First 25 minutes is given in the condition, but we have to find in 5 hours. So the time is in different units. This is in minutes, this is in hours. So this time you have to be very careful. When you read the question, see all the quantities should be in the same units. If they are not in the same units, you have to convert them into the same units. Then only you can continue the solution so that you can get the correct answer. So let us find out the solution for this. First, what is given? The distance, it is 14 kilometers, time is 25 minutes. Let us assign variables x and y for the time and distance. So let the distance as x units and let the time as y units. So here speed is a constant. When speed is constant, time and distance both will be in direct proportion. So it is given already speed remains same. So when the time and distance both are given and speed is remain same. When the speed remains constant, same means constant, remains constant, the distance and time will be in direct proportion. So when both the quantities are in direct proportion, what is the relation we have to write? x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. What are that x1, y1 and x2, y2? The quantities, the values which are given in the question. First, what values are given, that you have to assign as x1, y1. What value we are going to find, that is what we have to write x2 and y2. Okay. So first, what is given? Distance is 40 kilometers, time is 25 minutes. So distance, first time distance traveled, that is what? x1, that is 14 kilometers. Time taken to travel is 14 kilometers. So time taken to travel in 14 kilometers, that is what we have to write as y2. How much it is taken? 25 25 minutes it is taken. Okay. Now time is given 5 hours. Okay. Distance traveled in 5 hours we have to find, right? Okay. Distance traveled in 5 hours, right? In 5 hours. That is what we need to find actually. So that x2 value is question mark now. How much time is taken? 5 hours. In 5 hours, how much distance traveled we are going to find out. So to find this distance, how much time is taken? 5 hours. Time taken. That is what? Y2. How much is? 5 hours. But this 5 hours we have to convert into minutes. We know 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So using this conversion rate is 5 hours. You have to convert that 5 into 60. Now it becomes minutes. So that 5 into 60 is how much? 300 minutes. This is what the Y2 value. Now the relation which we use for the direct proportion is what? X1 by Y1 is equal to X2 by Y2. When X is directly proportional to Y, what is the relation we need to write? X1 by Y1 is equal to X2 by Y2. So let's substitute the values which are given. X1 is given as how much? 14 kilometers. Y1 is what? 25 minutes. Now x2 is what? The distance, how much travel in 5 hours, that we are finding that, so we don't know that, right? It stays x2. Y2 is what? The time taken, that is 5 hours, but the 5 hours is equal to how much? We convert it into minutes, that is 300 minutes. So we have to write 300 minutes instead of writing 5 hours. Okay? Why? Because the time should be in the same minutes. We have to convert that. Okay? Now go for the cross multiplication. Cross multiply. So we are going to find the value of x2. So keep that x2 this left side. x2 into 25 is equal to this 14 into 300. 14 into 300. Now x2 is equal to 14 into 300 is divided by this 25. Now go for the simplification. 5 table. 5 5s are 25. 5 6s are 30. And again one more. Again one more time it is the chance to cancel. 5 1s are 5, 5 1s are, here 1 remains 5, these are 5 12s are 60. What is remaining? 14 into 12 in the numerator, denominator nothing is there. So x2 is equal to 14 into 12, that is 168. What is that? x2. x2 means what? Distance traveled in 5 hours. What is that? 168 kilometers. So the truck can travel. I write the solution here. Complete answer. Therefore, it can travel 168 kilometers in the 5 hours time. Very simple. Hope you all understood. Just read the question carefully. Look at the quantities first of all, if all the quantities are in same units or not. If not, you have to convert them all in same units. Then afterwards, what is the relation actually? Is it in the direct proportion or inverse proportion? Check that. If that is in direct proportion, you have to use the relation x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. What are x1 and y1? The values which are given in the first statement. That is x1 and y1. Next, what you are going to find? For that you have to assign x2 and y2. Okay? When it is in direct proportion, x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2. Substitute the values and go for cross multiplication and simplification. You will be getting the exact result what you require actually. Hope you understood the solutions of this today's session. We'll be meeting the next session. We'll be continuing the remaining problems of this exercise 10.1. Hope we can complete the exercise 10.1 in the coming up session. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.